on the main channel, of course. And I just added the Mars Anomaly channel in. Shout out to those of you over there at the Mars Anomaly channel. Damn, guys, we're almost at 100 subscribers already. But we've talked, right, before about NASA photoshopping these images. Okay. And we've probably I would say the debut of my channel. I know, again, I've been following this sort of stuff for a long time. I just decided recently to create a channel where I put some of my finds up there, right? My little contribution or whatever. But my first video on that channel was about how NASA, okay, we found such complete discrepancies in an image. And I think still, even to this day, it's got to be one of the most fascinating finds. Shout out to Art Alien TV, Joe White over there. One of the most fascinating finds, what I believe is a possible drawing that could be telling us about certain species, okay, of life, all right? Take that for whatever you want to take it for. But in that video, it was crazy because we were able to actually discover two images of the same exact location, but yet huge boulders, huge rocks missing. And again, I'm real hesitant to even say rocks because I don't think that's what we're looking at here. I know in my heart, I say it all the time that they're not rocks, but of course I always run up into, family members. It's just a rock. I just see a rock. I'm like, no, that is not a rock. Okay. But this is another planet. Physics, completely different from what we know. But what it really got me, and I watch all of Chris's videos. Okay. What got me was he was able to pretty much prove his point tonight. And I know he was asking for photographers, amateur, whatever, could maybe speak on image artifacts or whatever. But listen, I knew NASA's been photoshopping the shit out of these images. They're really notorious about sand. I have found so many instances of NASA either taking away or like adding huge dumps of sand in the images. And it's so annoying, right? It's like you let us see some things, but a lot of other things, you just cover them up with this fake ass sand, right? Well, Chris did his Photoshop magic, right? And he's not altering the photo at all. He's only bringing out what's in the actual raw image. Watch what he brought out. So the images that we were looking at even earlier tonight, nothing compared to what's actually in the image. And that's what I want to show you, okay? Now, the video titled Mars Anomalies and Beyond, okay? The video title is Exploded Martian Structure, Proof of Fake Sky and Sand, 3/15/2022. Now, I didn't even think about the sky part, okay? I knew that NASA was fudging sand. I mean, we found sand even in it's like they just grab the rectangle tool, stretch it out, and paste, okay? It's like, oh, didn't even know sand could come in a square like that, but okay. Hey, Queen, what's up? I didn't even expect to even be live or go back live, but this right here is pretty good. So on top of the fact that he was able to show these artifacts in this image that should not be there like that. It tells you the image has been altered. There's obviously things there. We can't see them, so it's obvious they took something out, right? But when he applied the burning feature, when you see the result, it's pretty damn stunning. Now, what really got me was we were literally just looking at this image earlier tonight, the same exact image. again, I've been saying this for a while, and I don't know other, like, trig anyone, okay? Perfect geometry. It's amazing. And maybe it's a form of vegetation on Mars. Maybe it is what we call life, but it's maybe in a different way. I don't know. But there's so many instances, right? When even on the rovers, one of the things I have been doing lately has been I spent quite a considerable amount of time looking at selfies of these rovers. And the reason why is because we found a growth, and it's on all the rovers, okay? It's on all of them. We found it everywhere from the Curiosity, the Spirit rover, even going back or going all the way to Perseverance. And this is the image, okay? This is the original. And this was just me coloring it, okay? Having a little fun with it. But there is this perfect geometrical pattern. It's almost like a vine. I've called it Mars ivy because it reminds me of the ivy plant here on Earth, the way that it grows. Doesn't take much to grow ivy, right? A little water, not too much sun, but a little bit, and it will grow like crazy. And when I started seeing this growth on the rovers, it just kind of made me think, okay, because I was able to actually track this growth from image to image to image in the same spot. And then at times, I don't see any growth right there in that particular spot. That could be because NASA photoshopped it. What I found when going through selfie shots of these rovers is the amount of photoshopping that NASA does is stunning and really horrible, by the way. And I started really targeting like Spirit, Curiosity, a few years back, because the Photoshop software was not what it is now, right? And so it's kind of like taking advantage of the fact that software wasn't where it was like 5-10 years ago. So you can kind of go back and look at those images and you will see things that you may not see now. And I would stake my life on it, that there is some form of growth, like an ivy. It grows in every crack. It hangs off those rovers. It's inside the wheels. I don't know if it's hard like a rock, but it sure looks like some form of life. 2 eyes, little button nose. But if you look behind it, you see other things, right? And we talked about that before, but that's not why I wanted to make this video. But there you go, right? You can always go to my Behance site. But I'm nowhere near as good as Chris is with Photoshop. But check this out, okay? And I did drop a link to his video, and I shared it on the community wall, but he manages to bring out more of the image with the burn tool, okay? I'm going to definitely have to try that. But what he brought out amazed me. It's triple what we see.
Check it. You see this rock right here. This area here.
He's about to do. Now you can see things that have been blurred out, right?
And most of it, if you look at it, it's squared off, like a compression artifact would be. However, you're not supposed to see an artifact when you're zoomed out like this. You should not see that. Now, I told you before many times that I said I believe that the skyline is completely bogus. Now, we can look at the normal picture right here. And folks, I can look at it just like this. Look at this.
Yep. I never even thought about that before, right? Looking at the images, like, I didn't think that NASA would want to Photoshop the sky. But when he brought this image up the way he did, you see it. You see it all the way down and around. Like, who knows what could be possibly behind what they pasted over, right? My favorite part was when he applied the burn. Okay, let me get to that.
They're allowing you to see certain things.
And I'm not trying to copyright on his video or anything. Like I've shared the link. I just want to show you guys this one part here.
I believe, and I'm willing to stake my life on it, that what's behind this obfuscation in this background is an actual structure. Okay. Now, if this was a real background, and of course, I want you to believe that.
And see, he's got the layers down and stuff. I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet, but
well, this looks like a natural background. So
but
clearly, these
notice how the image looks, right? Watch this.
The whole photo is like this, folks. Is proof right there. That a hill, okay? Again, I'm going to bring you back to yellow plate. And folks, let me tell you something. That is proof right there.
Look at that.
That this is being manipulated.
Look at that. Nothing like the image we thought we were looking at.
The whole photo is like this, folks. Look at this. What they don't want you to see, you're not going to. It's as simple as that. You can see that. And this is the raw parts of the photo. Most people do not look into this. They only see, oh, well, it looks completely fine, except maybe a couple little things on the ground, and that's pretty much it. That's not it. By far is it it. Look at this. Look at that ridge line just above the rocks. They are literally blocking out this whole background. Check that out. Folks, come on. Look at this. Like I said, let's zoom into this. Notice how it's completely squared off, and the rest of it is redacted. There's no information at all. Look at that.
Facts.
It's almost like some things they want you to see, some things, not so much. Let's just get into the regular photo, and let's do the enhancements. Now, folks,
now the enhancement's my favorite part.
I'm just going to go step by step. I'm going to go into this area, and you're going to see where I've gone into this and burned this to see if we can find more details in the photo.
Bitch, okay. Look at that.
Things come out of there, like things like this. This looked like this right here, but now it's suddenly going like this and going into this part. This, I'm not sure what to even make of this white piece right here. Now, if we look at this, you can still see it. You can only see the corner of it, though.
Wow.
And you see it's pretty tall, right? We're going to take that orangey color off. You can see that pretty well. Now, let's keep going with it.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And my thing is, it's like NASA. I remember one of the NASA guys, one of the directors or something like that, in that program, okay, one of the Mars programs, I remember him saying that one of the best things that NASA ever did was releasing these images to the public for the public to go through them, because it gave them so much more information than trying to rely on a group of, of engineers behind a closed door to sift through the images, right? And I do think that is a good strategy, but it's a sucky strategy if you're going to if you're going to Photoshop out everything in the image. I mean, NASA, what are you so scared of? Really? I mean, come on. What are you so afraid of? Like, number one, you don't have the right to hold back information anyway. Every single piece of dollar that goes into NASA's aside from the, black budget military, whatever, there's also a space program under the branch of Air Force that's completely top secret. You don't ever hear anything about that. But the wealth of information and knowledge and things, that people could actually tell you, that could give you an idea of possibly what you're looking at, is going to be much more fruitful if you don't redact 75% of the things in the image. Okay, we can all look at these images and tell those are not rocks, you know? That part, Queen, that part. By the way, you guys, check out Queen's Throne TV. Make sure y'all sub to her Queen's Throne TV channel. She's been dropping content over there. Make sure y'all go over there and sub, okay? Shout out to Queen's Throne. Much love, much love, much love. But, you know, it's obvious looking at these images. I mean, we all know this is a whole different planet, right? We shouldn't expect things to be like they are here on Earth. Physics would not even apply, I don't think, like they do here on Earth. Everything that you know about science kind of goes out the door a little bit the moment you sort of step into this realm. But it's like the amazing detail. And what got me was that we were literally just looking at this image even tonight, even a few days ago, even last week. We've been sort of stuck on these sets, this 1348, 1385, basically between 1300 and 1400, because they're just mesmerizing. Gun was hitting a little bit differently than normal. Like, you can see a level of detail on some of these that you just don't see in a lot of the other images. And to me, honestly, I see what I believe that some of this is that we're looking at is some sort of growth. And it connects. They each connect to each other. It's like grow, connect, duplicate, grow, connect, duplicate. And this goes on and on and on and on. And before you know it, you have a whole line of this, whatever this is, then it starts growing bigger. And then you start seeing, you know, growth. And I mean, it's like an entire like field of this shit, okay? Whatever this is. All right. But I've always loved everything space, and I've always been enamored with these images from the rovers. The first thing I ever wanted to be was an astronaut as a kid. I ain't even lying to you, okay? I am a geek like that. But you know, I had kids pretty young, and that sort of knocked me out, you know, from doing anything like that in my life. But, you know, I think I turned out okay at the end of the day. But these are not rocks, okay? These are not rocks. And it was just, you know, you can kind of see like an example of what I was saying here. Growth, connects, duplicates. And then before you know it, you have a whole line of these geometric growths, or whatever you want to call it. And the reason why I'm saying growth is because I've been able to find the exact same shapes on the rover. And we know they came from Earth, right? But I think, you know, the moment that they touch down and they get into that atmosphere, it's, you know, like with the wind, it's like a seed is carried in the wind, right? And when you get an opportunity, go look at some of the selfies from the rovers, and you will see the same shapes. There is a consistent shape to these. It goes on and on. Like I say, it duplicates over and over and over, and you will see it on those rovers. And I mean everywhere. There's a crack, okay? And it's almost like shell-like, meaning okay? Layers of this, whatever this is, okay? But we're sitting here looking at the same image, and to see this, it's like, whoa, okay? The difference is stunning. And it's like, okay, I think there will be a lot to be said about going back through some of those older images. Even Perseverance, right? When it landed on Mars, its heat shield, its contents that were left over, right? If you actually even look at some of those images, you will actually see this same like growing on it. Now, I don't have the picture up right now, but
Going with it.
I'll bet you $100.
Folks, as usual, pause this anyway. Have a look at it with your magnifiers. Look at this piece here.
But check this out one more time here.
And the rest of it is redacted. There's no information at all. Look at that.
Meaning those pixels have nothing in them.
Not so much. Let's just get into the regular photo and let's do the enhancements. Now, folks, let me show you this. I'm just going to go step by step. I'm going to go into this area, and you're going to see where I've gone into this and burned this to see if we can find more details in the photo.
Wow, right?
Check this out. Things are starting to come out of there, like things like this. This looked like this right here, but now it's suddenly going like this and going into this part. This, I'm not sure what to even make of this white piece right here. Now, if we look at this, you can still see it. You can only see the corner of it, though. And you see it's pretty tall, right? We're going to take that orangey color off. You can see that pretty well. Now, let's keep going with it.
That is
Folks,
stunning.
as usual, pause this anyway. Have a look at it with your...
That is stunning to me. Now, when he did the overall image, okay, this is what he had. This is the overall, the entire image, right? Nothing like the one NASA pushed out, right? I think that's stunning. You know, NASA, I know you guys are all smart and everything, okay? But obviously, you even see the potential and the positives in letting the world have the ability to have input on what they see in these images, whether they're right or wrong, right? And I just think it would be beneficial, NASA, but the world, if they would let some of these images slip on through raw without editing them, at least from time to time. Just give us, one a year, one sole day a year of unedited images. It would be nice. Let us really see what all is on these images that are coming back. But this is nothing compared to the images that NASA is photoshopping and releasing. And again, the reason why I think going back through some of those older images may be pertinent is because, again, Photoshop is not the tool that it was 5 years ago, right? But, one thing also, too, to keep in mind is with all the photoshopping and stuff that goes on, it's very helpful to tell us what to look for because of what they took out. And that will make sense to you only if you spend, a good amount of time looking through these particular images and these gigapans. And that's just the truth of it. You kind of... you start looking at, they obfuscated this and they're photoshopping this. So that tells me what I should be looking for. And then when you go back and look at older images, it'll be, things will pop out. And there is also something to be said about reviewing or re-reviewing an image that you may have looked at before. Because I promise you, every time when you go back and you look at that image, you're going to see something that you didn't notice before. That has happened to me every time. Every time. Now, I dropped a link to Mars Anomaly and Beyond video. I'm going to also drop a link to this Gigapan image. If any of you guys want to, throw your hand at it, it's not too difficult to do. And if you create yourself a Giga Macro or even a Gigapan account, there's, you got gigamacro.com, you got gigapan.com. The sites, both sites have two different uses, in my opinion, but I will digress from that. But if you create yourself an account, you can actually mark these images for later review, to bookmark them. Like, that's what you guys see me doing when I, I'll put a point on something, or I'll circle something, right? It's something in the image, right? And it allows me to remember a certain part of the image that I later come back, and it's been very helpful for me. But not only helpful for me, but helpful for others who may come in and look at this image later. Information is always the number one currency, y'all, at the end of the day. The more information that you know, the more you're worth, I should say, right? When I look at these little, I don't know if it's a creature, if it's Mars's form of life. I mean, there's no question, right? I look at some of these and I see two eyes. One in, one out. You get to looking at these, you'll know what I mean by that. And even a mouth even. But maybe life is in just a way different form than what we're used to here on Earth. These images are amazing, and it is a great hobby. It's a very useful hobby, and it's something that you're contributing to the betterment of mankind, I feel like. And so I have a lot of respect for the people that have poured their life into analyzing these images even, there's a couple of guys, I've listed them out here before. Art Alien TV, Mars Anomaly and Beyond, What's Up in the Sky. Like, there's a couple really, I mean, these guys really put a lot into, okay, their craft. And I almost at times feel like they're better than the stuff that we get from NASA. Like, we were talking about, what we call that Mars Ivy, right? And NASA's over there saying, yeah, we found a coral flower on Mars. It's like, a little late there, don't you think? There's all sorts of stuff going on. And so, just as an example of what I was saying, I believe that this is like layers of this growth. Started out as, on the bottom, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and duplicating. See, it almost looks like you got a wall of eyes looking at you. But let me see if I can find that video that I did about NASA and the photoshopping, the notorious photoshopping. Give me just 1 second. Because I actually privated all my videos, my entire channel, not because of a strike or anything. I've been sort of playing around with this new method where, well, this view, you can see it's kind of nice. You know, when people come to the channel, they see any channels that I may be familiar with featuring, and it sort of drives subscriptions to me. This is the video that I did. This was my first contribution my first real contribution, right, to the community of Mars, whatever you want to call it, okay? And I still find this image really amazing. This is Sol 1506, okay? In which we have the same exact location, but two clear differences. And we're talking, if this is a rock, an entire boulder just missing, okay? Obvious photoshopping is going on, not to mention the fact that we also found square sand placements, okay? I did this, back in January when I started this channel. Let me just play a little bit of this because it's interesting.
God knows how many years, right? Going back to the 60s, the 70s. And it doesn't talk back to you. What would be the next thing that you would do? Well, you might draw something, right? You might want to get the attention. You might want to draw something. So listen, I'm looking for a trace artist, an artist, somebody whose hands are way better than mine. I want to know if an artist could possibly just trace this image and just trace over what they see. Is this, okay? This right here. I can't pop this gigapan out, but what you're looking at right now is supposed to be the same Sol day. But do you notice anything? Like, I don't know, complete huge boulder rocks are missing in the image. We got little pieces of rocks, okay? Look at the difference here in these images, okay? Do you see the difference? Now, the thing is, there's absolutely no question in my mind that Mars is absolutely modifying these images. I have found several instances in which you can obviously tell there's Photoshop jobs going on, okay? But look at this. The same geographical area. But look at that difference. Now,
I still feel like that's one of my best finds. I do. I think it'll take a lot to try to top that for me, as far as my finds, right? Oh, yeah. No question. Marshall, yeah. We found so many instances of like Photoshop jobs going on, square sand placements. Yeah. Even now, to this day, I still go back and revisit this image, still. And I still find things in it that I didn't see even a month ago. There's just, these gigapans are comprised of multiple photo sets. But you know what? Shout out to the people that create these. The main person that I see doing it is the Neville Thompson and the Keith Laney gentleman. and there's a couple other names that I hear from time to time, but I know that they put a lot of work into putting these images together, stitching all those images, and it's awesome, and it makes it so much better, right? To look at a larger GigaPan with all these images stitched together versus trying to, open 20 windows and position them in the right place, that sort of a thing. But that takes a lot of processing power and a lot of work, I'm sure, to do that. And so, to those individuals, we are very grateful for your work and dedication on that, right? We are. So, no, I don't think Mars is fake. I think there's a lot of faking going on in the photos, but I know people have really interesting theories on parallel Earths. And I've heard the theories of, that we don't even have rovers necessarily on Mars or on another planet. I've heard theories that these photos are being taken out in some desert area here on Earth, right? I've heard all sorts of very interesting things. And, I don't have any judgments on any of it, honestly. I think it's a great thing to listen to the inputs of all people, right? You'd be surprised. But that video is out there. It's still pretty insane. Even just looking back at it, right? Even just looking at it now, and it's like, wow. The fact that we have these images with the same area, and I believe over a 2-day period, the stark contrast and differences between these. It's like, how did an entire slab of rock, if that is supposed to be a rock, just disappear or even appear, right? But y'all, I'm going to get up off of here. I'm done running my mouth for one night, okay? I'm going to go relax, kick my feet up, and dig into some more of these images. And I have been spending a phenomenal amount of time, okay, trying to get familiar with Photoshop and everything. It takes a lot of time, though, but I am enjoying it. I kind of got a little sidetracked with it, doing some other little photo projects. So there will be a new LeakU logo coming out, okay? And it will be the first one that I've ever actually created. I've usually just hired a graphic designer to do my logos, but I think I got it. I think I can drop the next one and be a complete LeakU creation. But I've been quite excited about that because some of the features I've been learning about in Photoshop, okay, for me, it's pretty exciting. The level of creativity some of these people have. I looked through some of these people's portfolios on Behance, because within Photoshop, not only do they have Behance where you can go and look at people's work or whatnot that they post, but there's also, a little Discover tab within Photoshop for the iPad, and you get to kind of look through some of these people's body of work. And man, let me tell you guys, some of these people are amazing in Photoshop. It is absolutely amazing, some of the work I've seen. Yeah. Y'all, I'll catch y'all next time.